launch a new product in a nutshell. So, we're at that time. It's December 2022. And we're about to go into 2023. So this is a really good time to, even if it's not a brand new business and you're launching, but maybe you've launched and you're not getting the results that you want, this is a really good time to think about, okay, what am I going to do for next year in that first quarter? The time goes so quickly. It's not owed to anybody. And the amount of times that you can look back and you think about resolutions that you made, goals that you had, and you haven't quite followed through for the year and it hasn't gone the way that you wanted to, or maybe you've done everything that you said you was going to do, but you haven't got the results that you wanted. So when that new year approaches, for many of us, it's like a fresh and different new mindset. So what I really want to look at today is, okay, if you haven't launched, let's look at what launching a new product looks like. And if you've launched and you're either A, not getting the results that you want, or B, you need a relaunch because your business has changed in any way, this is also a good time to really review this. It's a good time of year. So my name is Natalia Nicholson. Many of you know me. Some of you don't. But I'm a digital marketing coach and I work with women, predominantly underrepresented women. There's so much that I needed to know to be able to make my businesses viable and profitable and break those barriers of actually making money. And, I had to search, learn, read, put myself out there, pay ridiculous amounts of money for courses and programs, still not getting everything that I need. And when you don't come from a background or a place where there's someone to tell you exactly how to do things, if you think about it, once upon a time ago, your dad might have been a shoemaker or a jewelry maker, or, your mum might be a seamstress. These trades get passed down to your children. They get passed down in generations, So if you don't come from a background of knowing, it's very, very difficult to actually know and understand what to do. Right, I think I just can hear someone that might have come in. Bear with me. This is the only thing about no, they're gone. This is the only thing about me getting used to Google Meet. I must figure out how people just automatically come in like Zoom. So let's go back. So that's what I do. So just a little bit about me, and I don't want to go into it too much. We're a really nice, intimate group today. So again, please feel free to make sure you come off mute and you get the most out of this. But I don't want to make it about me. I prefer we talk about you. But you are in safe hands. So I've worked with small businesses, upskilling them through the Google Digital Garage. I have started and failed at many businesses, but I've also started and made money from many businesses. And I've built my own community. I'm the founder of NN Inspirational Gifts. So I run my own e-commerce store. So when I talk from a place of experience. I'm not talking from a place of textbook or academia. And the community that you would have found me through is Women in Digital Business, which is a community that exists for underrepresented women. So I've been featured in a lot of different places. So you are in safe hands. And it wasn't always like that. I quit my full-time job about 17 years ago. I founded multiple businesses, and yes, I've had countless very costly mistakes, and that's what makes me experience. And I really struggled to get sales. I really struggled to understand what a sales funnel is and build something that can convert into actual sales and develop leads on different marketing channels. So these are all pictures of me when I thought I was a big shot in South Africa. There's me in America looking really confused, just constantly searching and searching, but never having any clear plan. It wasn't really till I turned into a mum and I had to really analyze the moment of where I was and had to really think, why have I got all these half-built bridges? I'm constantly starting new things and, never getting the results from the things that I've started, which is called half-built bridges. We do it in this day and age so easily. Oh, gosh, I need to be doing more Instagram reels. Oh, I need to be on TikTok. Oh, I should be writing blogs. Oh, I need to be doing this. Oh, I'm going to learn about this. But there's no strategy. So I really had to learn and think about, okay, what have I got? I had to audit my assets. I had to find a way for them to really work for me and just build a future-proof funnel that would really help me to grow and scale, where I could say, right, this is the documented journey. This is the plan. And this is how I'm going to implement it, which is what brought me to having contracts with PT, being a part of the Google Digital Garage and upskilling businesses throughout London. Okay, so I've gotten here by really failing my way to success. So Women in Digital Business just helps you come up with a plan of how do I get to 6 figures? How do I get to 7 figures? And actually have experience in doing that, and just understanding and giving you a strategy of how we actually do that. So business at hand, let's go into what we're going to learn today. So today we're going to cover, should you even launch yet? If there's certain foundation things that you haven't done, it's better to get those things right before launching and then just not being able to get any brand awareness, leads or conversions. We're going to cover actually planning your launch, creating your launch deliverables and tracking your results. Okay, so part 1, should you even launch? So you have to ask yourself, do you have a valid product? Is your product solving a problem or filling a gap? And are people willing to purchase it for more than what it costs to make? And it sounds really simple, but it's not. Because so many times, we have this idea that takes us 4 or 5 sentences to explain. We can't actually explain it in 1 sentence, and we haven't validated our problem. What problem does it solve? And sometimes we can get so caught up with the feature of our products, we're not thinking about, okay, what are the benefits? What problem does it solve? So if I looked at natural hair care, does it solve the problem of me being able to comb my hair without ripping my roots out before I wash it? Does it solve the problem that I've got of not being able to get the right twist outs because either it's too flaky or my hair still goes fuzzy? What problem do I have does your product actually solve? And am I willing to pay for that to get rid of that problem that makes sure that you make a profit? And these are simple questions, but these are questions that you really need to answer. And also, can you handle growth? Imagine being in a forum or a platform. Look at the company that was on Dragon's Den and then got backed by a dragon as a natural black hair product. And that day, the internet broke with people logging onto it. And then it just said that it couldn't fulfill for orders at that time. Sometimes you can't handle growth, but it would have been great if there was a sign up box so you could have still been collecting leads while that problem was being figured out. So it's just understanding, the goal is to be successful, but do you have the capacity? I do, one-on-one top level consultancy. I'm one person, plus I need to sleep and I've got children. How many of those can I do to be successful at them because my time's capped? So can you handle the growth that you want? And also just being realistic. You don't want to say be selling only, £1,000 worth of product every month and your goal is to get to 1 million. There are stages in between that of milestones that you need to reach that you keep scaling up and up and up. You have to be realistic as well in terms of how are you going to grow? When you plan things out and you've got strategy, that's when you really get predictable growth and you get predictable sales, because you have a solid plan of, okay, this is how I'm going to launch, this is how I'm going to sell. Can you support more marketing? Do you have a team of marketeers that can help you meet your goals and create all the necessary materials necessary? So if you're trying to do loads, you're trying to do Instagram, you're trying to do LinkedIn, you're trying to do Facebook, you want to have some TikTok videos, you want a YouTube channel, I need to start guest blogging, I need to start putting blogs on my platform, I need an e-commerce site. It's a lot and it's really overwhelming. So you really need to think to yourself, can I actually do all of this? And if you can't, you need to look at your budget and see how much have I got to get someone. And depending on your resources and assets, you need to scale back. Sometimes we think very, very big when we're small because we're taking this gunshot approach of, I'll just put it out there and I'll make it, with actually no specific plan. And that's one of the biggest things that can really let us down. Okay. Can you seek help if you need it? Do you have access to resources and mentors who can help you if and when you get stuck or you're feeling unsure? This is really, really key. Everybody needs somebody. I've always had a coach at all stages of my business life cycle. And obviously, the more experience I might come, or the more I climb the ladder, is the more I might need more of a higher level help. But you still need help. And sometimes we can talk to friends and families, but I'm a firm believer of nobody's got the right to tell somebody they cannot do something. And if you're also asking for advice from someone that hasn't even got any experience in what you're talking about, can you really take that advice, and can that be a go-to? So these are just some of the things you should think about in terms of, are you ready to launch? Have you got these things? And if the answers to any of these questions are no, consider meeting those needs before you attempt to launch. Launching is a very difficult time. It takes a lot of energy. There's a lot of tasks that will consume you. So make sure you're prepared, even just down to your organization. And technology gives you so many tools. You've got Trello, you've got Notion, you've got Asana. I love Asana. I use Trello for my household, Asana for my business, and Notion, Notion, is a software that I use just for notes if I'm brain dumping and doing things. These technologies keep me really organized in understanding, what to do and creating workflows and timelines. Time runs away with us many a times. And, we all say, where did the time go? And when it comes to launching, we have this tendency to leave everything to the last minute. And by doing that, we don't launch properly. So let's look at planning your launch. What does that look like? So just like what I said, organization is key when it comes to planning launch, and there's a ton of moving parts. So you do need those management tools to help your team to stay organized and efficient. So on the screen, remember I said there's going to be a recording of this, by the way, that will go out on YouTube and it'll be sent out. I will give you the link to the Facebook group afterwards, because go in there, because we'll also post it in there. But make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is actually in the chat at the very top. So when it comes to managing your people, teams, suppliers, anybody that's working with you, I couldn't survive without Slack. Slack is a version of WhatsApp, for those of you that don't know, but it's for business. So unlike WhatsApp, when my WhatsApp alert goes off, I don't know who that is. That could be my mum, it could be my sister, it could be one of the crazy school groups that I'm in with 3 children. Slack lets you know that it's business related. You can set channels up in there. You can have different people on those channels, and it's a really great place to be able to communicate and manage people and leave messages. Skype, and that's a bit old school. Whether it's Skype, which I think is now Microsoft Teams, because Microsoft bought Skype out, whether it's Zoom, whether it's Google Meet, what we're on today, Google Hangout, GoToMeeting, whatever the case may be, you've got video conferencing calls. It's really important what any suppliers or anybody that you're working with, you make sure communication lines are open. And in terms of your business, if you don't have brand guidelines, you should have them. Please do check out the YouTube channel where we got more workshops about branding. Again, branding is something that is pre-launch, that you should be very clear on what the promise to your customer is. And you should have a brand guideline that includes your brand story. It includes your tonality. It includes your logo, your colors, how your logo can be used, your typeface, your subheading type font. It includes everything on there. So check out YouTube just to make sure you're on point with branding. Managing your projects or documents, whether it's Dropbox, Google Drive, Google Workspace, where your team can work from. Monday, which is like an Asana. Again, it project manages workflows. Trello, which is your list of things to do, the Kanban theory of, things to do, doing and done. So to do, doing and done. And it's a technique that many corporates use, especially those in the car manufacturing industry, actually. So stay organized. Like I said, nail down your story. You should have your brand guidelines done by now. Every product launch needs a good story. I want to know why I'm going to buy from you. Why did you start your own hairline product? Is it because, you can't get these products out there? Is it because all the things that you're not using in them, that all the mainstream products are using, is not in yours? Educate your audience. There has to be a story. Your audience wants to know your why. They're screaming to know your why because they want a reason to buy from you. The story is what attracts, retains, and carries your customers through the entire buying process from start to finish. And it will influence every aspect of your marketing, from ad copy to web design to emails. And the story should explain things like, what problem is your ideal customer currently facing? Like I said, is it that their children don't want to, they're not happy with their natural hair, they're not proud of it? Is it the fact that, their hair isn't tangled? Is it the fact they haven't got a product that slicks it back properly because natural hair has got a way of fizzing out? What problem is your ideal customer? Like at this point, Even if you haven't, you should have what I call is customer profiling. Like, I have a document that is just all about who my customer is, and it actually helps in my copywriting, because at all times, because I know who my customer is, I can write to them like it's really personal, because content marketing is what connects you to your audience. That is what gives that human to human effect of connecting with them, but through technology, which is hardware. Technology is very emotionless. So content is how you're going to really hit the nail of what they're feeling by understanding what they're feeling. Again, please do check out our YouTube channel, because there are sessions on there all about content marketing. How will your customer use your product to solve their problems? What does success look like for your customer after buying and using your product? This is what your brand guidelines is. This is what should underpin everything. Whether you're working with the supplier and they need to understand what you're doing, they've got a copy of it, down to any content, social media channel, content marketing that you're doing, you are making sure at all times your story is coming out, because you're giving them a reason to buy from you. So it's important to emphasize the emotional tone and feel at every stage of the customer journey. The customer journey is your sales funnel, and you should have a customer journey. You should have a strategic document that maps out the journey of your customer, of where you want to take them. Again, please do check out the YouTube channel and subscribe, because there are video trainings all about this stuff. So step 3, decide which channels to leverage. Okay. Your product launch can't happen in a void. You can't just launch and not tell anyone. You need to advertise it. So determine which channels you will launch. Are you going to go for paid, which means you own this traffic, which means if you're going for paid, you should be collecting the leads so you can remarket to them and retarget over and over again. So would that be social media marketing like Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn ad? Would it be Google? Would it be, ad displays or paid search engine optimization, SEO, Google AdWords, because it's paid? Is it owned or organic? What I mean by owned is organic is websites, blogs, organic search, SEO. People that are searching for you on YouTube and finding videos, podcasts, webinars. It's organic. It means that you're not paying for it, but people are finding you on third-party sites and platforms, and they're directly moving across to your platform, which is owned traffic. And really, on both paid and both organic, it should be feeding into some type of funnel where you are collecting data, you are collecting leads. I can't stress how important that is for you. So even with your website, if you are driving someone to your website, even if they don't buy anything, what are you doing to collect their details so you can keep marketing to them? Is it a pop-up box of a gift of a discount code for a free product? Maybe it's something, it's a giveaway. Maybe it's a competition. Maybe it's a guide on finding out what hair type you are to make sure you can buy the best products for your hair that's downloadable. But it's something that you're collecting people's data so you can keep remarketing to them. And then you've got sponsored, where, you might sponsor an event, a platform, a paid. You could sponsor many different things, but you've got the same target audience, so you can piggyback off of somebody else's event or community to be able to drive traffic from there to your own platform, because you have similar audiences. So just decide what channels you're going to leverage. Step 4, you want to decide on your deliverables. Every product needs deliverables to support the marketing campaigns. So you'll probably need a website if you haven't got one. You'll definitely need a sales or landing page. You might say, well, what's the difference between a website and a sales and landing page? I will always suggest when you launch, you're going to have many different customer segments. Even though you've got target audience, there's segments of those. So if we take the example, sorry, Carly, you're the only person that told me what you do. So I'm kind of using you as my case study through this. So you're going to have loads of segments. You might have children on there. You might have children that have got of mixed heritage. The texture of their hair is a little bit different. It might be hair type. It might be length of hair. It might be styles like twist outs. You're going to have segments. Even though it's people for natural hair, there'll be different customer segments. So when you're really scaling your business, you would think, okay, what segment am I going to start off with? Because trying to communicate to everyone is almost a bit like being a jack of all trades and a master of nothing. People want to know that you're talking to them. If I'm buying something for my daughter, the fact that I know it's targeted or geared towards her age, makes me feel more comfortable. When you look at hair products, some of us are buying children's stuff and it's probably no different to adult stuff, but it's something psychological. It's the marketing. So a landing page allows you to specifically market specific product or products, not a huge catalog though, to a specific customer segment. So you are providing a solution for a very specific problem. Okay, which means now you're homing into one customer segment, which makes it easier to have language, intent, and branding just geared towards that particular niche. Once you've monetized and reach your targets, you might then go on to the next customer segment, rather than trying to reach everybody and they're not all getting a clear message and you're not getting that trust being built up because you're trying to target everyone. Product pages, pages all your products on, which would be, if you're selling a product, your e-commerce site. Paid ad creative, if you are going for paid ads, do you have the creatives? Have you got the design? Have you got the video? Email campaigns, you should be collecting leads. Even if you haven't got any leads and emails, you should have a CRM system, a customer relationship management system, like a MailChimp, not my fave, but Active Campaign, Aweber. You should have some type of CR system where you are collecting emails so you can send out email campaigns. This is what we call own traffic. These are people that you can keep marketing and selling to, because not every time that you're selling is somebody ready to buy. Blog posts, you're going to need some type of content, whether it's blogs, vlogs, you're going to need content. Content makes you an authority. It gets you noticed. Lead magnets, what have you got that entices someone to leave their details? Just like I gave the example of getting to the e-commerce site, and is someone just going to leave their details for a discount? Maybe they want a guide to find out what hair type they are, so they're going to give their details, get something downloadable. A lead magnet is something that you give and someone gives you their details in return, so you can keep marketing to them. Do you have social media channels? You don't need to have all of them. I wouldn't suggest any more than 3 that you're active on. If you're right at the beginning of your journey, you're still not sure, I would say 1. But obviously that gives you brand awareness. It means that your audience can become aware of you. And it's also, when people are checking you out, you want to make sure that you've got a good social media page. Affiliate sponsored content. If you've got an affiliate program, affiliates can be promoting your product or service alongside with you at the launch to get more impact. A podcast content, so whether it's blog, it's a podcast, is another social media channel like YouTube. Just have a favorite out of those 3, or out of the selection of social media channels that you are posting that content. And just something, when you start saying, I'm going to have a YouTube channel, I'm going to do podcasts, I'm going to do Instagram lives and reels, just see it's too much work. So think about what content you would lead with. Think about how your audience would like the content consumed. If you are talking about hair, more than likely it's going to be YouTube. Okay. Step 5, determine your timeline. So, I've stressed the importance of having a great timeline. Create a multi-channel product launch. To get one, I'm getting all tongue-tied here. Creating a multi-channel product launch requires some sequencing. So create a detailed timeline of a pre-launch. And this is where I use Asana. You might use Monday, you might use Trello, where you really lay everything out. So when your site, your sales pages, your content, your ads, the images that you need for your ad, your videos, the branding and designing, the content for social media channels, scheduling posts where you can use loads of different softwares, you need to time that out. Because when you start to get realistic about time management, that's when you'll think, I thought we were going to launch in the next month. Actually, we need 2, and time is precious of the essence. So we better get started. Your launch date and cart date. What is the launch date, and when will all the discounts start? The early, pre-early, early bird, the normal, the final offers. You might have a digital product, then you might open and close your website. Even with physicals, you can still open and close. This year I'm off to Florida. My Shopify and Amazon store will be closing on the 8th of December. So we've had a big, massive blowout for Black Friday and discount. But, that was in my plan because I need some me time. Whatever that might look like, just take into consideration. Does that make sense? Things like, early bird offer, normal offers when you're going to open and close. you know, what your funnel looks like, the sequence of your different ad campaigns and email campaigns, and aligning them with your content and your cart timelines. Now, there's a lot to do. Everybody's business is different, so it's hard for me to say exactly what yours should be, but this is an outline of things for you to think about. You know, what content goes live when, really thinking about scheduling, when blog posts are due. Maybe you want to do a social media to say Happy New Year or Happy Christmas. You should be doing that in like the beginning of November. You know, content going live should be scheduled in from the month before, or this stuff will just overwhelm you and give you anxiety. So what content goes live when, and doing it in advance gives you an idea of exactly what needs to be done. So looking at part 3, which is creating your launch deliverables. Oh, I went back there. So make sure your website is easy to navigate. You really want to make sure that user experience is there. The worst thing is when you go onto a website, it's cluttered, you don't know where to find things, you can't really figure out, you know, what it is that this company does. You thought it was good, now you're here, it's just too much. And think about when you're on a website that just does your head in. So pages should have a logical hierarchy, and the site should run quickly as well. You don't want any big load times. And if you've got a website, you've got any sales pages, or you've got any social media, you should be downloading analytics, and you should definitely have Google Analytics set up and attached to your site. And even if you're not reading the data, you should be collecting any data that you can, even if you just put it in a Google sheet, and maybe every quarter, you know, you can get a VA or yourself go through the data and see what it's telling you. Because what it will do is it will plug holes in your funnel. You'll find out where things are going wrong. Numbers tell a story. So if you haven't got Google Analytics and you've got a business up and running, I would like you to try and do that between today and tomorrow. So, you know, reiterate your story. Your site, your website should use copy and imagery that attracts the target audience. And if you're starting off with a specific segment, like I said, you would have it geared towards that segment. Once you've reached your KPIs within that segment, you might change it and go to another segment or another. Or you can use sales pages to have different streams of segments, and the website is more generic and overall. But the website and copy and imagery should tell the customer story you outlined earlier. The homepage should really focus on what problems are being solved, and the product page should focus on what the product can do for your customers. Okay, you are thinking benefits. What's the benefit for them, not the features? The features are that it's got no sulfurate in it, it doesn't have this chemical in it, it doesn't have that chemical in it. Okay, it can do this for you. The benefits are it will save you time. It will mean that your child won't scream when you're doing their hair. It will mean that you can go out and still look good after 4 hours because your hair won't frizz out with a twist out style. Okay, think benefits, not features. You want to have a clear and consistent brand imagery. Branding is really, really key. To create trust, you need to keep your fonts, graphics, images, and overall design consistent. That is why it's key to have brand guidelines. You know, you need to have a means to purchase and a call to action. Every piece of content you do should have a call to action. You know, telling people what they need to know, where they need to buy, and what they need to do. You need to make it crystal clear and, sorry, idiot proof, because you'd be surprised that if you are looking for leads, you want people to sign up. If you want people to buy now. If you want people to share with their community because they're brand ambassadors or influencers, ask them to share. Be very clear on what your call to action is, and everything you do, make sure you lay it out. There is clarity and everything is clear and concise. You know, make sure you got the landing pages and sales pages. Like I said, landing pages speak directly to your core audience that you're dealing with. You know, call out to the audience and use emotional language to help specifically gear towards that segment. Use bullet points and consumable formatting so you can read things at face value. You know, endless chunky paragraphs do not sell product. You know, include imageries and videos. People like to consume content through videos. We're all getting lazier. Even me, I listen to audio books. I'm always going to choose video and listening to over reading. So people need to feel engaged. They need to feel compelled to purchase. You know, only ask them for essential information. If you don't need their phone number, don't ask for it. How many times, if you're signing up or buying something, do you like to give your telephone number? And if there's an asterisk to say you don't have to give it, you don't like to. It's only when you really have got a trust for something that you'll ask for it. So especially if we're looking at lead magnets where you're signing up for something for free and they're just giving you their email in return. Do they really want to give their phone number as well? But then at the same time, I've got clients in Qatar who, you know, they're not as sophisticated, that's the word, buyers, as in the West, believe it or not. So they would give their phone number out, especially if you're in a niche market. So it can depend. You know, match the formatting of whatever sent them there. So if you sent them through a sales page, you sent them through a social media post, and they're now going onto your website or another sales page or somewhere else in your funnel, make sure it's consistent regardless of where they're coming from, so that your customer gets to send a new page and they stay engaged because they feel like they're a part of your community. And just have clear call to actions. Like I said, people need to know what to do when they get to these pages, so you need to make sure the instructions are very clear. Even if someone's signing up to someone, you know, at Women in Digital Business, we'll tell you you're now about to get an email, please confirm that email, then we're going to send you another email. So before you've even left our page, we've explained to you exactly what's about to happen, just to make it really clear. Okay, make sure your product pages, this is one of our product pages for one of our candles, you know, make sure you provide all the essential information. Just bear with me. I think, has someone rang the doorbell? Yes, they have. Let me just go back to where I was. So product pages, make sure your product pages, you know, I've got all the product features on it, not benefits this time, features, the descriptions, the pricing, the sizing, you know, how to use it, etc. Like I will even give a description of what the scent smells like, because you're shopping online and you can't smell it. You know, show the product. Are the visual creatives, are they really clear, the visual creatures? I think that should say creatives, I'm so sorry. So they want, you know, they want as many visual representations of the product as possible. Always have things, if you can, on a white background, just makes it clear. And carousel images are great for showing the different visual representations. And again, have a call to action button. You know, make it easy for people to purchase. If you see the button there's red, if you want to go to PayPal, you can go straight to PayPal. So just make it really, really clear. You know, when it's coming to ad creatives, if you're doing adverts, whether it's on social media, whether they're Google ads, you know, make sure your ad creative tells that customer story. This is why your brand guidelines are so important, because again, the story is important. It's what makes customers relate to what you're saying and stay engaged. They want to feel like you empathize with them. They want to feel like you understand them. They want to feel like you get them. They want to feel that your product or service and community was made just for them. That's why the customer segmentation when you're marketing is so important. You don't just want to market to everyone. You do one at a time. If you've got the budget, you can do them all at the same time, but you're going to need all of what I'm talking for the separate segments. Okay? Having engaging visuals, so video, carousel, and images ads are great. And, you know, use them if you can. The more content, the better, and making sure it's consistent. Email campaigns, make sure your email campaigns are tailored to each step of the process. So in all of this, so you've got a website and you're asking someone to sign up for free, you're asking someone to buy something, whether you've got sales pages that are saying sign up, and then once you sign up, they get emails from you. You can now send newsletters, whether maybe you've got a digital product and you've got a waitlist page. So if they sign up for something, they go to the wait page afterwards. If they sign up for the product or service, you want to thank them for buying it. All of this needs an email series. So email campaigns are a way for you to keep constant communication with your customers. There should always be 80% education and 20% sales. And it's a step that takes them through whatever process. It takes them through your customer journey you've mapped out for them and explains to them at every stage what's just happened and what's about to happen. So you'll need in doctoration campaigns, introducing people in there, promotional campaigns with upsells and downsells, you know, abandonment cart email series if you've got an e-commerce site and you're selling. You know, emails are a really, really great way to push people in and actually convert into the sale. Email campaigns should have engaging headlines. You know, poor headlines mean poor and low open rates. So split test those headlines before you send them out. Like, see which headline works better than another every year. And that's why I'm saying to you, collect the data, use Google Analytics. If you've got a Facebook, an Instagram, a TikTok, these sites all offer you analytics. Even if you're not looking at them, at least download them, because they don't stay there forever. They're there monthly. I think on Facebook and Instagram, it's 90 days. It used to be 30. So you want to make sure you're collecting it every month so you can go back and look at the data and see what the data is telling you. But we go back through our email marketing campaign and we look at all the emails that, you know, have got really great open rates, and we either repurpose some of that content or we produce the same type of content because we know that gets high open rates. Sound like a person. Do not buy swipe files that have got a whole load of American cheese in it. Oh, that's awesome. Do you know that if you people who invest themselves in it, you don't want that jargon and that tonality that just sounds sold to. Customers are a lot more sophisticated than they used to be. We're sold to so much, we can see things coming from a mile. So make sure that it has your tonality in it. Your brand's born out of you. So in the first instance, until your brand is in the 6-7 figure mark, more of a 7, people are going to gravitate to you and your story on why they buy from you, and not the actual business brand. So you want to talk to your audience like you're talking to a friend that you respect and admire. Now, your emails include content. Content helps to nurture your list and build your credibility, which makes people more likely to purchase. Blog posts. Blog posts are needed for your organic search, SEO, search engine optimization, so people find you. And it's also a great way for you to build your authority. Having content builds you as an authority and as a go-to in the marketplace of what you do. So are your blogs relevant to your audience? Write about topics that matter to your ideal customer and are related to your offer, either directly or indirectly. And so for some of you, it might not be blogs. I hate writing. I'm dyslexic, number one, and I just don't enjoy writing. So this could be a vlog. This could be video as well. Make sure you take advantage of keywords. Keywords really help you rank in Google and build your organic traffic. So you can use tools like Google Trends that will tell you the keywords that how many people are searching from them. So if they're a high volume, that gives you an idea of what your potential customer could be searching for. And it's also good if you're doing paid advertising on Google AdWords to try and find keywords that not many people bid on, but your audience is still looking for companies like what you do under that keyword. Blogs, like I said, they build your credibility. Make sure you're knowledgeable about the topics you write about and try to add something new or different to your post so they stand out amongst the crowded space that we're in. Include links to your products in blogs, or if it's a video, include those links in the description. If your product relates, include it, and a call to action to a landing page. So this content, the call to action isn't just sign up or brand awareness, it could even convert as well. So your lead magnets, make sure your lead magnets are valuable to your intended audience. You know, what topics, resources, processes do your ideal customers need help with? Like I said, it's a guide to find out, you know, what hair type are you really, so you could buy products that suit your hair type better. So essentially you're actually selling, but you're doing it through offering valuable educational content without them even realizing to come back and buy the products that they need. You know, what do they need help with? You know, relates to your core offer. You know, you want to make sure whatever your lead magnet is, it relates to actually what you're selling. A lead magnet is generally something that is absolutely free in return for their contact details, usually email, can be cell phone as well sometimes, depending how valuable that lead magnet is. So provide a quick win. You know, you don't want to solve the main problem. That's what the product is there for. But the lead magnet should provide a quick and easy solution to a smaller problem that they've got, which is also building trust to your business. So social media posts, you want to build hype and awareness. People use social media primarily for entertainment. They do not hang out on social media to be sold to. So make sure your posts are engaging, okay? Link out to the right places, include links to your site, your sales pages, your blog posts, you know, whatever content that you've got out there. Make sure the link connects to the topic of the post, so people will read more, explore more, want to know more about you. It is literally like meeting someone. I actually do a masterclass on our website, Women in Digital Business, and it really does break down all the laws of intimacy and start to get your looking at your customer like literally meeting someone, you know, taking their number, speaking on WhatsApp, talking back and forth. It is literally like the laws of intimacy of meeting someone when you're building a relationship. And that's how you build up customers. You know, there isn't the quick win with online marketing unless you've got a good advertising budget. And even then, you need to know what you're doing in advertising. You need to warm and build relationships up. Okay. You know, make sure you're varied in style. Use testimonials. Make sure you're always asking for testimonials. Whenever someone is buying, signing up for something, they're a raving fan, ask for testimonials. You know, that way you can give behind the scenes sneak peeks, educational content and more. You know, mix it up, make your feeds interesting. It could be, you know, Friday night sophistication here. How do you go from Friday night work to drink with the girl's hairstyle? How to easily change it over. It could just be so many different things. And again, reiterate your story. I know that story matters, okay, and it will help you improve conversions. It's not redundant, just so you know. You need to keep reiterating that brand story. Keep reiterating your why. For some of you, you might not have thought about going down the road of affiliates or even sponsored content, but make sure your affiliate and sponsored content connects to the right audience. If people are promoting on behalf of you, they need to understand your intent and who your customer is. And again, by having a copy of brand guidelines and being very clear about your why and who your audience is, means that anybody that is working on behalf of you is also clear about your product offering, your audience. So your affiliate sponsors should have a similar or related customer base. You don't want to be using any affiliate marketeers that have got a complete different customer base for you, because the message isn't going to land. And, you know, if you are using an affiliate or you do want to put sponsored content on somebody else's site, these relationships should be mutually benefit and in line with your core values of the brand. Because otherwise, to be quite frank, it's just not worth it. You know, podcasts, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a YouTube channel, you want something where you're actually talking to your audience, like I'm talking to you now. So it could be a webinar. Connect with your audience. Again, the topics and contents need to resonate with your ideal audience. You know, include guests that matter to your audience. Maybe it's about being guests on podcasts. There's nothing worse than a random guest that doesn't relate to your brand or audience, because why are they going to be listening to them? You know, are they binge-worthy? People like binge listen to podcasts, so record a few episodes in advance. With all of your marketing, you should be doing it in advance, because you're just making a rod for your own back if you don't, to be quite frank. And lastly for tonight, I just want to look at part 4, tracking your results. Tracking your results is so key. So you've launched, for instance, now what? Make sure that everything you've done in your launch, that you should be tracking the progress. Take notice of what is working and what isn't, and don't forget to be flexible. So the Google Analytics might tell you bounce rates, what the click-through rate is, how long people are spending on the site, what type of device they use. Is it mobile? Is it desktop? You know, is it Android? Is it Apple? These are all key indicators that lets you, gives you data, tells you a story that lets you know what's working well and what not, where the source of the marketing, what's the biggest source that's giving you the most hits and the most sales. People converting into sales might be coming from a blog post that you didn't even know about. If you're tracking things, you will know. You can only get better and be better from it. So analytics and data in this day and age, the market intelligence that we've got, it's really key to make sure that you keep growing and scaling. So that's an end of that's the end of you know, really thinking about the analytics and tracking things, and that's the end of our session today. So what I do want to talk to you about, let me just get it up, is our boot camp. Okay. The boot camp is really making sure that you have a lot of things on track. So before you start going launching, relaunching, and before you start pumping any money into advertising and you start doing anything, you should be very, very clear on who your audience is and what your product is. And it might sound really simple, but it's not. So this workshop that I've put together, literally, and this is going to be 2023, it's actually quite a new workshop that I've done. It's really to get people to have a masterclass and a boot camp to really understand where they are and understand what their product offering is, and making sure it falls in line with the target audience. Because what can happen in the beginning is there's a mismatch. If you don't get that right, anything else you do after that is a little bit of a problem. So on this boot camp, what we've done is I put 3 days together. So the first day is all about identifying the right market, looking at winning products and how to perfect the perfect offer for your customer. Okay, and really taking a deep dive as well into who your customer is. Day one, it's really a chunky. It's about 3-4 hours, just to let you know. It is pre-recorded, but it's powerful. I give you a worksheet and I make you answer every question under the sun about your audience, and makes you think, have I positioned myself correctly? And really think about how you're offering your product. There are businesses that have just changed the model of their business, going from just general e-commerce into subscription, and it's changed and worked for them. So day one is really learning about identifying who your marketplace is, identifying the right marketplace, identifying your core offer and what winning products you have, to kind of understand how you're going to go to market, and also understand who are you marketing to. They all interlink and they all need to be singing in harmony. Day two is really understanding, how to not leave money on the table. How do you really maximize profit? How do you increase the transaction size? How do you increase the frequency of when people are buying from you? And how do you increase them to upsell and buy other things from you? So it's really looking at how to get the most profit out of your customer. And on the third day, it's looking at proven strategies from profitable digital sales funnel from scratch that really work. So you can set a bar for yourself and see, do you know what? This is the journey I need to map out. But until you understand your brand promise, what your product is, and you understand who your customer is, anything that follows that you do from after today could be built on a house of cards. This is really important that you do this. It's a very in-depth boot camp, and it literally is $27. We usually charge $97 for it, but I can guarantee you Women in Digital Business is known for giving value. If you do any of our workshops, you're in any of our programs, you get above and beyond what's needed, because I understand what it is to be underrepresented, and I also understand what it is not to be given all the information that you need. But this is a really great starting place. There's loads of reviews we've got. This is just a really great starting place to make sure you've got the foundation, whether you're trading in business you haven't started yet. This will just fix the foundation of what you need to do so you can really go on and build and have a strategy.